it was quite clear that you was meant to be here tonight and do what you did.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I wanted it so bad. I was so close. So it's a hard pill to swallow, to be honest.
Rico Verhoeven, Rico, you put in one hell of a performance, pushed Oleksandr Usyk all the way. Give me your reaction to the fight tonight.
Oh, I had fun. I had so much fun. It was incredible to be there, to be a part of history, and actually, to be completely honest, I just saw the end because of all the comments I was reading, and they stopped the fight after the bell.
Yeah.
So the bell went, and then they stopped the fight. So yeah, I think we might just go and appeal it because this doesn't make any sense.
What do you think of the stoppage? Too early, too late? Happy with it?
Oh, I do not think about this. A lot of people say, hey, it's early, it's not. Listen, it's not my job. My job is, this was hard fight. Rico, good fighter, good prepare, everything okay. We have win, but continue training.
Your Excellency, can you believe what we saw tonight? What a fight.
I think it is bad stop, and I want to see the rematch in the future.
I can't believe Rico Verhoeven got robbed like that. It's the same old story. It's the Francis Fury fight all over again. Everyone mocked these guys. Same thing with Francis. The boxing media, the boxing fans said he had no chance. It was a sham of a fight. All this, that he's gonna roll right through him. You can't just walk in. Where did this guy come from? He's a debutante. He's an amateur. And I still maintain till this day that Francis Ngannou won that fight. At least in the Francis fight, he was allowed to go the distance. At least he was afforded that respect. Rico wasn't afforded that.
I thought it was a poor stoppage. I know that you can never think about how long left in the round, but what was there, a couple of seconds left in the round?
Yeah.
And I think when you're up in the fight, or you're that competitive, you can't stop a fight when he's not taking really any serious punishment, even though the knockdown was heavy. So massive respect to Rico. And well,
the Pyramids of Giza witnessed a chaotic, polarizing spectacle that many insiders claim is one of the most protected cover-ups in modern sports history. When a heavyweight titan who has never lost a professional boxing match gets pushed to the absolute brink by a crossover athlete, the sport usually celebrates. But what happened in the closing seconds of the 11th round didn't feel like a celebration. It felt like an intervention, leaving millions of fans wondering if the referee was saving a fighter's life or saving a promoter's multi-million-dollar investment.
Crazy, right? Honestly, crazy. I said this. I said, and look, by the way, I didn't say Rico would cause him problems, but I did say, having sat down with Rico, people can convince you the way they speak. I remember just sitting with Rico about 2 months ago. I did the face-off and I did the interview. And this guy just had a belief that I'm going to win because he always wins. And I know it's in his discipline, right? His discipline being kickboxing. But when you've not lost for 10 years, you don't believe you're going to lose again. And he kind of had this thing where, okay, everyone's writing me off, I'll show you. And I was like, yeah, but you're fighting Oleksandr Usyk. Like, you could put him in against any other heavyweight, and I would have given him a better chance. Like, okay, you never know, right? It was supposed to be AJ, for example. I think AJ would have beaten him, but you're like, oh, okay, he's a big boy if he lands one. But I was like, you're fighting the genius. So you're fighting the best person we can give you, not just in the heavyweight division, but the best fighter in boxing. You ain't got a chance. And speaking to Usyk all week, you're like, okay, Usyk's just going to just show this guy levels. Because that's what Usyk has done with everyone else he's fought. And everyone else, by the way, has brought something to the table. When he's fought Dubois brought a belt. When he's fought Fury, undisputed. When he's fought AJ was unified. Like, everyone else has said, okay, I'm coming to the ring to fight you, Usyk, but I'm coming with my own pedigree. Rico Verhoeven came with one boxing match. So why would we give him a chance? No one gave him a chance, nobody. Maybe not even Rico's family. No one gave him a chance. It was like, okay, do us proud, Rico. Last a few rounds, don't get knocked out, and everyone goes home happy.
From the opening bell, it was glaringly obvious that something was deeply wrong with the champion's radar. Oleksandr Usyk is universally recognized as a technical genius, a master collector of human movement who solves his opponents like a puzzle, but he had absolutely no data on the man opposite him. Rico Verhoeven didn't move like a traditional boxer because he isn't one. The kickboxing legend utilized an awkward, jerky, loose-handed rhythm, deploying a relentless double jab and shifting angles that completely short-circuited the champion's elite defense. It was an instant, haunting echo of the night. Francis Ngannou shocked Tyson Fury. Once again, a combat sports outsider proved that when you strip away traditional boxing textbook mechanics, you can make an undisputed king look completely lost.
What we saw this afternoon in Egypt was an absolute disgrace. I can't believe Rico Verhoeven got robbed like that. It's the same old story. It's the Francis Fury fight all over again. Everyone mocked these guys. Same thing with Francis. The boxing media, the boxing fans said he had no chance. It was a sham of a fight. All this, that he's gonna roll right through him. You can't just walk in. Where did this guy come from? He's a debutante. He's an amateur. And I still maintain till this day that Francis Ngannou won that fight. At least in the Francis fight, he was allowed to go the distance. At least he was afforded that respect. Rico wasn't afforded that respect. In case you missed it, the fight is stopped with 1 second left in the 11th round. But in reality, if you actually watch it, and I've watched every single video, every single angle, it was seconds after the 11th round was over. Ding, ding, ding. And then it stopped. And it wasn't like, oh, stopped in between rounds. No. It was stopped maybe because the ref didn't hear it, or maybe because he's incompetent. I don't know. Mark Lyson is his name. It was an absolute awful, awful, awful stoppage. They showed us the scorecards. 2 judges had it tied going into the 11th. Would have been a 10-8 round. 1 judge had Rico up. In the end, he would have gotten robbed by the scorecards. I had him up like 3-4 rounds. He fought a brilliant fight, a beautiful fight against Oleksandr Usyk. He was way more aggressive than he usually is in kickboxing. He looked poised, composed, technical. And who knows, did Usyk take him seriously? I don't know. He seemed to be in shape. He seemed to be ready to go. He seemed to have said 1,000,000 times over that he was taking this seriously. And yet, there's Rico Verhoeven in front of the pyramids, putting on a show against the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and, in my opinion, the best heavyweight.
The illusion that the champion was just having a slow night was utterly shattered when the secret scorecards were finally made public. This wasn't a competitive sparring match where the veteran was coasting to a decision. Rico was legitimately executing a flawless game plan. Heading into that fateful 11th round, 2 of the official judges had the fight deadlocked at a draw, while the 3rd judge actually had the kickboxer ahead on points. The global betting lines, which had heavily favored the champion before the walkouts, began to swing so violently in real time that panic was visibly setting in ringside. The underdog wasn't just surviving, he was actively on the verge of pulling off an upset on the exact scale of Buster Douglas, ruining Mike Tyson's undefeated legacy.
Pro boxing fans, here with WBC President Mauricio Suleiman. Wow, we've seen something special tonight here in Giza. Oleksandr Usyk stopping Rico Verhoeven. What's your reaction to that?
I am so excited. I'm so happy. These are the types of nights when you go home smiling all the way. My flight, I'm going to be smiling, remembering the fight was even. There was times where Usyk was losing the fight. He had to dig deep down and get that dramatic knockout victory at the end.
Before the 11th round, were you thinking we're on the verge of the biggest upset in boxing history?
One of the biggest. You can never take away Tyson Douglas. Yeah. That's a huge, but one of the biggest, perhaps the biggest. But I was proud all the way since I knew it was happening. I'm proud of the WBC Board of Governors for approving the fight from day one, because we have that rule, and it showed. We took a lot of criticism, and now we will not hear anything said good, but the result was it. So that's why I'm happy.
Well, it's gone from criticism to everyone wants the rematch.
Everybody wants a rematch.
Will you sanction a rematch?
Absolutely yes, but Caballel is a mandatory contender. Right. I believe the right thing would be Rico is going to get ranked for sure. by the WBC, and he deserves to fight again.
Then came the moment that turned a brilliant sports story into a full-blown sports tragedy. With just seconds remaining in the 11th, a desperate flurry from the champion finally broke through, sending Rico to the canvas for a heavy mandatory count. What happened next is being scrutinized under a microscope by every analyst in the world.
Two of the judges had the fight dead even at the time of the stoppage. What? One of the judges had Rico up by 1 point at the time of the stoppage. Huh? Come on. Like, even if you give Usyk all the credit you possibly can give, the closest you could have it, in my estimation, was 6-4 in favor of Rico. There's just no way Usyk was winning a lot of those rounds. The first 2 rounds I thought were clean, easy to score. From then on, I thought the majority of rounds went to Rico. They got a little bit closer. Usyk started to turn the jets. But I can't see an argument for Usyk being up or tied in that fight. I can't see it. I thought 6-4 was the low point, the conservative way to score that fight. So in a way, the referee saved us from maybe even a bigger controversy, where Rico would have finished the fight, it would have been competitive, and he would have been on the wrong end of a decision. So disappointing for everyone involved. Disappointing performance by the referee. More disappointing performance.
As the referee counted, the arena's 10-second warning clacker signaled the absolute end of the round. High-profile media figures, including Ariel Helwani, later reviewed every single camera angle available, proving that the referee did not stop the fight during active combat. He stepped in and waved his arms seconds after the bell had officially rung.
The fight was stopped after the bell rang.
Close the show! Rico's in trouble here! Close the show!
Game, set, match. You stopped the fight after the bell rang?
By the rules of the sport, a fighter who survives the round is legally entitled to his 60 seconds of corner rest to recover for the finale. Rico was lucid, his hands were up, and he was completely stripped of his right to go out on his shield.
I didn't think Usyk came into this fight in the greatest of shape. You could see it when he took his shirt off and the fight started. That was not the chiseled version that we've seen fighting Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. He looked a little bit softer, and if we're being honest, it looked like he didn't take his training camp as seriously as he should have. And maybe, he like the rest of us, he thought he was going up against a guy that would just, stand around, take some punches, and eventually get knocked out. Kind of how most of us saw the fight. I think most people believe that Usyk by knockout was the most likely outcome. I picked Usyk to win by decision because I've seen Rico before. He's a tough guy. And I've seen kickboxers before, from Jarrell Miller to Vitaly Klitschko to Chris Algieri. They are tough. They can take some punches. So I thought Usyk would win by decision, but I thought it would be lopsided. I didn't think Rico would do anything. So why did this go in a different direction? For starters, Rico had a tremendous game plan. I need a game plan that I think surprised everyone within Team Usyk. Rico was working with Peter Fury for this fight, and Peter Fury changed some things up. I think the expectation was that Rico would fight behind a jab. He would try to land one big right hand, but he was aggressive from the opening bell. He was pushing Usyk, and I don't think Usyk thought that was how Rico was going to fight. I think he thought Rico was going to be more conservative. Instead, he was aggressive, he was awkward, he was in Usyk's face. Not everything he landed was big, but he was letting his hands go, and he was landing some punches. Had a couple of good body shots, some good straight right hands. I thought he was winning the majority of the rounds. I didn't have it super lopsided, going into the 11th round, but I had Rico up 6-4 at that point.
However, the hardcore boxing community believes there is a much darker side to how those final seconds played out. While casual fans cry robbery, insiders point out that Rico may have deployed the oldest trick in the book to manipulate the clock. The moment the heavy uppercut landed and sent him down, the kickboxer deliberately spat out his mouthpiece. That single, calculated move forced the referee to pause the action, clean the equipment, and buy the challenger an extra 30 to 35 seconds of pure recovery time. Upvoted breakdowns across social media circles even suggest that a panicked timekeeper accidentally rang the bell 7 seconds early. If true, it means the system itself broke down, creating a paradox where the champion was robbed of a legal finish, and the referee was forced to make a catastrophic call to correct a broken clock.
You saw in the 11th, Usyk turned on the jets, went for the stoppage, and got a big knockdown. A short uppercut put Rico down in the corner. And that's when all hell kind of broke loose, where Rico gets up, he has his mouthpiece out, the referee gives him an eternity to go to his corner, get the mouthpiece back in, and get the fight started. If you clocked it, it was more than 10 extra seconds, maybe 15 seconds that Rico had to recover. And it still wasn't recovered. So Usyk pounces on him and starts throwing combinations. The referee was watching that very closely, clearly. The referee stops the fight. Now, he stopped the fight, to my eyes and to my ears, after the bell rang. Usyk was teeing off. He was throwing punches. He had Rico in a tremendous amount of trouble. But he stopped the fight after the bell rang. To me, the right call in that moment, given the stakes and given how well Rico was performing up until that point, would have been to allow the fight to continue. Now, if you want to make the argument that Rico would have gotten stopped early in the 12th round, fine, whatever. But 2 heavyweight titles were on the line in that fight. Rico had fought extremely well up until that point. You've got to give the fighter a chance. You've got to give Rico Verhoeven the opportunity to recover in his corner, survive the 12th, and send this fight to a decision. I thought the decision to stop the fight by Mark Lyons was awful. Just awful. The whole sequence there, where he gave Rico extra time, that was bad. The stoppage was awful.
The fallout in the locker rooms has exposed a massive, bitter divide among boxing's absolute elite. High-profile pugilists like Shakur Stevenson and Ryan Garcia immediately took to social media to blast the officiating, with Stevenson publicly calling it an absolute disgrace and a bad night for the office. Argued that the establishment simply couldn't handle the embarrassment of their pound-for-pound poster boy getting beaten by a kickboxer. Yet, amidst the sea of outrage, Canelo Alvarez stood completely alone. The Mexican icon openly defended the referee's intervention, bluntly stating it wasn't an early stoppage at all, but rather a merciful act that saved the challenger from a brutal, career-altering knockout in the 12th round.
Canelo. How did you score it? Keep going fast.
Tough to say.
Canelo, early stoppage that?
Huh?
Was that an early stoppage?
I don't think so. I think they save a brutal knockout.
Who's next for Usyk?
All the best for Usyk.
Who do you want to see him fight next?
Huh?
Who's next for him?
Oh, he can fight whoever.
Beyond the immediate anger, the sheer reality of what happened in Egypt has cast a massive, permanent shadow over the champion's legendary status. Prominent promoters and analysts are now openly begging the 39-year-old Titan to retire immediately to protect his flawless legacy.
Brother, I'll be fair with you. If I was there to advise him, his next opponent would be his wife, Katerina, his daughter Maria, his daughter Lisa, and his sons. His family matters, maybe his business issues. That's what he has to take care of now. He has to stop. It's better to leave 1 hour before than 2 minutes after. Unfortunately, this is the truth. It concerns not just boxing. It concerns every single thing. It concerns you. It concerns me. It concerns every one of us. You can't earn all monies of the world. You can't beat all fighters of the world. But you need to take this decision. And this is a very difficult decision for a man like Usyk, being on his prime, being on his top, being unbeaten, and to leave. But think of the future. So from the bottom of my heart, I wish him to retire at his prime and being remembered in ages as one of the most prominent and greatest fighters of all time.
An opponent with virtually zero professional boxing experience fully exposed the wear, tear, and natural erosion of age. To make the entire event even stranger, the chaotic fallout accidentally unearthed a bizarre, hidden medical crisis in a completely different corner of the sport. While defending the challenger's performance, Jake Paul let slip that his own boxing career is currently hanging by a thread. Recent jaw scans have looked so alarming that his personal doctors are actively forbidding him from ever stepping into a ring again, proving that in this game, the damage you don't see is always the most dangerous.
Your fiance Yuta posted a video recently, and in the back you were in the ring doing some stuff, and that led people to think that you were maybe preparing to get back in there. Obviously, it's only been about 5 months since the fight. How far along are you in the process?
Yeah, I'm getting some new scans here in a couple of days of the jaw to get an update on the healing process. We'll see what my doctors say. I think I'll be able to get a more accurate time frame, or can I even fight again? That is definitely in the realm and possibilities of things. It does feel a lot better as weeks go by and time goes by. But I definitely need to get cleared first to be able to spar. But I'm, sort of staying in shape. Just, I'm always, in the gym pretty much regardless. So just staying in shape and enjoying, some mitt work.
Wow, so that's on the table. Your fighting future is somewhat in doubt.
Yeah. No, most definitely. I think it just depends on how the bone heals. And then also there's a tooth missing here. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to get an implanted tooth of some sort. I don't know how much time that's gonna add to things, but we just have to see and figure out what the smartest thing is for me.
Is there any part of you that's this may not be worth it anymore? I did it. I proved my point. This is not fun. Let me go focus on other parts of the business and other parts of your life.
Yeah, those thoughts have definitely come up. But I'm not done. I can just feel it in my spirit, my soul, my heart that I have more fights left and unfinished business in my mind.
Ultimately, the desert dust may settle, but the stain on the sport's credibility will remain. Rico Verhoeven has already closed the book on his kickboxing career, declaring that he is officially here to stay in the squared circle, demanding an immediate rematch to settle the score.
I don't think anyone expected you to do that, and I think that's a fair comment, only but you believed in yourself. I remember I spoke to you a few days ago and I talked about the stamina thing, and I'll be honest, I was shocked. You were still, you looked the stronger guy in there, your engine was still going, obviously what happened towards the end, but I think that you proved what you said a couple of days ago was correct. I think you said something about training yourself. You're always fit.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I felt good. I felt comfortable. Maybe a little bit too comfortable. But yeah, it's back to the drawing board.
How did you enjoy that experience, though? The pyramids, and you fighting one of the greatest fighters of all time.
I loved it. It was so much fun. It was history. We made history. We wrote history, especially with everybody writing me off, and then putting up a performance like this. And then the early stoppage. Yeah, it is what it is.
I was impressed by your boxing skills, man. Your arms they look really long when you got them gloves on. You're throwing them hooks from places you can't even see.
Exactly. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
What's the biggest thing you've learned from your boxing fight like that? It's your second fight. You've done 11 rounds.
Yeah, never get comfortable. Focus. Stay focused. Stay switched on. It ain't over till it's over.
And then just lastly, most people will want to see you box again. I personally was just talking to Peter. I'd love to see you against Ngannou in a boxing match. I don't know if you've got any guys that you'd want to personally take on.
No, I don't care. Let's see what happens. His Excellency was super happy with the performance. He said like, "Oh, it was a robbery. I want you again. I want to see this fight again. You want the rematch." So, but let's see what happens.
But in a sport where live betting shifts can dictate the narrative and where production trucks are heavily rumored to feed instructions directly into a referee's earpiece, you have to ask yourself a very uncomfortable question. Is boxing still a pure, unscripted test of human will? Or has it devolved into a highly protected, multi-million-dollar entertainment business where the chosen kings are simply not allowed to lose? We'd love to hear your thoughts on the controversial referring during the fight. Did you have Oleksandr Usyk losing in what would have been a massive upset? Should we get a rematch? Let me know in the comments. That's all for today. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.